What is going on, everybody, and welcome to this very special day of World's Finest, brought to you by the Comic Collectors Guild. And woo, we got some breaking news. The Snyder cut of Justice League is finally getting greenlit and brought to us on HBO Max. I am your host. You guys know me as Jake, joined by Lee Lawson, my co-host, and a very special guest, Nadya from the Comic Collectors Guild. Guys, how are you guys today?
Hey, hanging in. Super excited. Ready for some more Batfleck.
Yeah, man, what a great day, right? I mean,
Yeah.
It's been a lot of stuff was bubbling up this week about it, and fantastic to see it come across today. I mean, we've been waiting for this for 3 years. I mean, it's 3 years to the day
crazy.
where Zack Snyder stepped down.
I know.
You know what I mean? From where he stepped out of the show. I mean, so it's great to have him back and to see what he's going to put out there.
Yeah, what a way to, just in the world in general, in the time where we've just got littered with bad news after crap news after crap news, the movie gods gave us a gift, and man, they dropped a bombshell of good news. Obviously, they did a Man of Steel watch party on Barrow, I believe, and Zack Snyder at the very end. Henry Cavill showed up answering some live questions, and sure enough, dropped that the Snyder cut is coming to HBO Max in 2021. Which really excites me that it's not just going to be like next week. We're going to get a finished cut of the Snyder cut. And I've seen reports of two different options of what they're considering right now. But I guess first and foremost, let's just dive into what your initial thought was when you saw the news. And then secondly, how do you feel about this? Lee, let's start with you, and then we'll go to Nadya. Lee, what were your thoughts?
Well, I'll just briefly say, obviously, I'm very excited because I actually started talking about it before you even told us what we were here to discuss today. So I jumped right in. I mean, this is awesome news. As I mentioned earlier, this is literally 3 years to the day where I believe he actually withdrew himself from, directing.
Yeah, for a
Justice
family
League.
emergency.
For a family emergency.
Yeah.
Yep, due to his daughter, obviously, committing suicide. So that was a sorrowful day, obviously very sad for the family. But to be here now 3 years later, and this is just so exciting. I can't wait to see what we get on the screen. Nadya, I'm sure you are excited as well. You're a huge DC fan, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what was your initial reaction, and what are your thoughts now?
So I'm really excited. Like you said, we've been waiting like a long time for this. And can I say like my initial thoughts on the movie? So when it came out, I really think it was underrated. Like I actually really enjoyed it. I just found an old review that I wrote on it, and I gave it a 7. So I was like, I think I liked it. Like I think the cast was amazing. My main issue was the CGI. Villains always play a major part. So like Steppenwolf, like I think that was, I don't know, I'm hoping this can somehow make things a little better, but pacing was my main issue. So I feel like with the Snyder cut, it could hopefully solve a lot of the issues that I had with it.
Yeah, well, the report is it's either going to come in 6 different parts via TV style, or the biggest, the heaviest is it's going to be a 4-hour Snyder cut. We're getting everything. So they're debating on whether they're going to break it up into 6 parts via TV style or do 4 hours with like an intermission, which, hey, make this thing an event, man. And I'm all for it. But yeah, no more Superman stupid CGI mustache. We're going to get the black suit. No more stupid wisecracks from Batman. We're going to get back to gritty Batfleck. And to see more Mira, more Flash, more Cyborg. I mean, this is going to be epic. And to me, I also, like, to your point, I liked Justice League when it came out. Like, I had fun with it. I felt like it was a rip-off Marvel movie, to be honest. I don't want a DC Marvel movie. I felt like Steppenwolf was very much like a Marvel MCU villain.
Toned down.
And that's their weak point in their movies, if there is a weak point in the MCU movie, is their villains. Snyder, to me, that being said, as much as I liked it, one of the most disappointing movies ever to me was Justice League, because I know that Zack Snyder didn't get an inkling of his vision that he wanted to put out there. The tone was completely different. The characters were not, the characters that we brought in through like Man of Steel and BVS. And now we're going to see the true vision of Zack Snyder. And on top of that, finally, we actually get to see that the fans finally get a win. I mean, not many times in cinema history do the fans actually get what they want in, campaigning and release the Snyder Cut hashtags and all this. They finally give the fans their due. And no better place to put this on than HBO Max. And I can't even imagine how many new subscribers they have gotten today for that platform. But that's how I feel about it. What about you, Lee?
I mean, the uproar was deafening. I mean, since it came out, since the original Justice League came out. Not just a couple things. I guess I was also never been more so disappointed because I'm a huge Joss Whedon fan. As you guys from the Buffy show and then through the Avengers, of course, that he guided us through. Huge fan of his, and to see, I actually was obviously very sad when 3 years ago when he announced that he was stepping down. But I was like, okay, you know what? Joss Whedon's coming in. We actually might be in good hands. I actually really thought, and I think most of the fandom did as well, because most people are fans of Joss Whedon, in that genre. Thought they were as well. And to see just the mishmash of what it was, you know what I mean? You could actually, for me, and I'm sure you guys as well, could literally tell from scene to scene almost what was Joss's and what was Snyder's, you know what I mean?
Crazy.
And it was like, what is this?
Like the devil on the shoulder, the angel on the shoulder.
Yeah. And so that was horrible to have to do. But I actually enjoyed the movie also. I mean, as much as I could see, that wasn't a pure vision. I mean, these were my guys that I've been dying to see on the screen. So I mean, it would have had to be really, really, really like Steel type of bad, the movie Steel type of bad for me not to find some type of enjoyment out of it. And I do. I just caught it on TNT or TBS a couple days ago when they reran it on television.
Yeah.
I had not heard, this is news, that you're talking about releasing it in 6 different hour increments.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a 4-hour.
Which is fantastic. I mean, that's awesome. And really, they almost really should have let where the state is of DC movies right now anyway. They're in the state of rebooting 4 out of the 6 or however many out of the 6 people that are behind us now. They really should have just let Snyder see his vision through, because it would be over. It would have been released almost this time around last year in 2019, right? So we would have got Justice League 2 then. So if they're going to reboot, at least we would have had a vision. And I would think most people actually probably, maybe the critics, I don't know where they would have rated, but most people, if you talk to them, Batman versus Superman, you have a lot of fans that as low rated as it is. Man of Steel, I loved, you know what I mean? At least we would have had a pure film, love it or hate it, we would have had that vision out there, and then they would have rebooted it anyway. Because the way Snyder had done the film is he wasn't here for the long run. He was going to tell his story almost like Nolan did with Batman, and then let other people run with the characters. You know what I mean? Ben Affleck signed on for a short period of time. He never signed on to be DC's Tony Stark. You know what I mean? So this was always, so it's a shame that we never got to see all of that run through, because right now we
will now.
Oh, I'm so excited. I know. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what happens.
That's the thing. We're going to get 2 Batmans in 2021. And now talk about 2021 for DC. We're going to have James Gunn's Suicide Squad, the Rob Pattinson Batman, Black Adam, and now the Snyder Cut to add on top of that. So this is going to be crazy. And to your point, one things that we've talked about with movies in general is how many times do these studio executives step in and really ruin the director's vision. I mean, you can see even in Batman v Superman, there's the ultimate cut, and even the people who don't like BVS are like, that ultimate cut's pretty good. You know what I mean? But when the studios were like, nope, it's too long, you need to cut it. Look what it did. It tarnished the film. So not only are we going to get, the Snyder Cut, but we're going to see his true vision without any executive stepping in to say, nope, can't do this. Justice League should not be a 2-hour movie, which it was. And I was like, oh boy, we're in trouble as soon as I found that out. But double it. So I guess each of you, what is the thing you're looking forward to the most in the Snyder Cut compared to what we got theatrically? Nadya, let's start with you.
I was gonna say a point to that was like the movie did feel very short. Like I mentioned, the pacing was my issue. It felt like they tried to put too much at once. Yeah. And I rather we're used to DC movies being 3 hours, so I would have sat there for another maybe half hour.
Endgame was what, 3 hours and 16 minutes or something?
So I'm like, I felt like the the pacing was a major issue in the time. So if it could have been a little longer, it probably could have fixed a lot of the issues that it had.
Yeah.
And then, so I think that's one of the main things I'm looking forward to. So I won't mind sitting there for 4 hours if it fixes a lot of the plot holes. And
especially being that we're going to be able to watch it from home. So it's not like, people are going to have to get a sitter for their kids or anything like that. Exactly. Pause it, watch part 2. They might even do an intermission, with, maybe like a message from Zach or something like that in between, which would be cool. But let's talk about the smart aspect of the HBO Max side of it. What do you think this is going to do for HBO Max? They're launching next week, and they're already, we're getting Game of Thrones, all the HBO content, Sopranos. They just announced Joker is going to be on there. They have the Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings are going to be
Hobbit.
on there, and all the shows, The Hobbit. And now they're going to get the Snyder Cut. So can you foresee HBO Max maybe even catching like Disney Plus and getting up towards that Netflix level now that they've launched this? And how do you see it affecting that, streaming service?
Well, they had to do something. Peacock's coming so strong with the Saved by the Bell reboot and Punky Brewster. They had to do something, right? That was supposed to be a joke.
Yeah.
No, but obviously, this makes perfect sense for them. They're coming so strong. This has been in demand. They let it percolate for 3 years, you know what I mean, to where it got deafening and the roar was, you couldn't ignore it anymore. And this is going to do nothing but help their numbers. This is for all places, DC. For everything you want in DC, this is where you're going to go. There's rumors even the DC universe will be eventually folded in, outside of the comics, but all of their other content. Doom Patrol, I think, is already having season 2 premiere there.
Yeah.
Season 2 premiering up there.
And Titans, I'm sure, will eventually get there as well.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Like I said, I think that pretty soon we'll see all of that content be absorbed into HBO Max. But, definitely a smart move on their part.
Yep. I got my subscription. What about you, Nadya?
Because I'm confused. I'm like, I already had HBO, and before I had HBO Now. So I'm like, what's the difference with Go and Now and Max? I'm like, maybe you have to cancel one, or I don't know. I got to look into it.
If you have HBO Max, that'll take all of the other HBOs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't automatically get HBO Max if you have HBO Go and HBO Now, but you automatically get those things with HBO Max.
Yeah. So it's going to be awesome. And, like I said, they're probably having a good day. I already saw Warner Brothers stocks are going way up right now. Which is good in this time, where we've had so much bad news and movies getting sent to streaming. So it's just so nice. And then for the fans, I'm just so happy for all of us who have been screaming for this thing, writing. There's been petitions to Warner Brothers and phone calls and Times Square billboards for years now, like release the Snyder Cut. I saw release the Snyder Cut is the most used hashtags for a single movie in the history of cinema.
What?
Release the Snyder Cut. So, gosh, now we just got to hope this thing's good. What I mean? Like, I don't want to let that on me, but it's going to be awesome to see. And I think, we're going to have so much more to talk about with this. How do you like the way they did it, with the Vera watch party with Man of Steel, and then having Henry Cavill come on and having him, show it to us that way?
I think
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Nadya, go, please.
I think it's a big build-up and surprise, because, like, we're like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And then I'm, like, online, and I'm like, oh, my God, wait, Snyder Cut. And everybody's like, no, it's not real. And then I'm like, wait, he said it himself. It's real. Yeah. It's finally real. So it's like, woo! Hopefully the studios will, like, take a hint and give us, what we want.
Exactly. And they even said that they're going to bring some of the cast back to do record of dialogue, not necessarily like reshoots of scenes, but like Ben and Henry and Gal will do more dialogue recording. So
I think the cast did a fantastic job. Like, that's one of my main issues with, like, Warner Brothers and the studios. It's like, it's never the cast. Like, even Suicide Squad, I enjoyed the cast. It's more so the rushing of the movies. I'd rather wait like 5 years for an amazing movie than them trying to, like, catch up with Marvel and release a movie every 6 months.
Well, hey, David Ayer got the same kind of crap end of the stick as Snyder did with Susan. You saw the first trailer was super dark, and then they hired a trailer cutting company to edit the film, which is a horrible idea. So that was a mess. But then on top of it, they saw like, oh, they didn't like it's too dark. Let's make it light all of a sudden. And it just screwed up the entire film. So they could do the same thing with Suicide Squad.
Well, they were going for that Guardians of the Galaxy vibe, you know what I mean, with the classic rock song playing and all, the fun classic rock song playing and all of that. That's what they were trying to grab, and it was Warner Brothers just seems to just always meddle, you know what I mean? They just won't just sit back and trust. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think when we're starting to change, and now we've seen good films, is when Walter Hamada took over Warner Brothers. And since then we've gotten Aquaman success, and we've gotten Shazam success. He doesn't mess with these movies, and now you're seeing what you got. You got a guy who understands how it works, letting their filmmakers do their vision. And as soon as I don't remember who was the old regime's name, but as soon as Walter Hamada's taken over, it's great.
Like it feels more consistent. Like it's a team working together on the same movie, not like. Yep. Oh, I'm going to give you this, but I didn't read what you did. And I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to film that, but I'm not going to pay attention to what you did and throw it into one movie.
Yeah, one thing I thought, you touched on it, Nadya, I think it's funny, is how many times is it like they've said it's coming on HBO Max, but like it's been a joke or it's been like fake news. So like, I feel like a lot of people are like, is this just another hoax? But then you see like Zach say it, and you're like, yes, like it's finally out. I've even fell for it. I fell for it. Like there was a dummy, like fake bought HBO Max account that had it, and then I realized it didn't have the check on it, and I was like, oh. And this was like in April, so when I saw it again, I was like, oh, thank God, like it's actually happening this time. Right. So it's a good day. It's a very good day.
It certainly is.
What's even better is, like I said, I'm glad they're giving him time to edit it, so we're not just getting like like you would get like a bonus scene, like CG where you green screen and all that. We're gonna see the full finished cut. I'm curious if we're going to see Darkseid or Green Lantern at all show up.
Yeah, I'm seeing rumors about that.
Manhunter. I mean, all of
bring on all the rumors.
All these things. That was
the movie we deserve.
Yeah,
exactly.
Manhunter. Yeah, that's been confirmed now. Yeah,
so that's been that was definitely confirmed that that was John Jones the whole time. The general there talking to him. Yeah. And so is his name Henry Lennox? Is that the actor?
Colonel Lennox. That's the character's name. Yeah.
Okay, the character's name. Yeah. I can't remember the guy who plays him, but he'd offered to come back even like just in the past like 6 weeks. He's come out and said, "I will come back and do whatever I need to for free. Just let me know."
Yeah.
Maybe since it's real,
it's funny. He's the one. If you remember years ago, he was the one who came on stage at Comic-Con and announced Batman v Superman being a movie. He came on to Snyder's panel and read the famous quote from The Dark Knight Returns, like, "I want you to remember my hand at your throat. I want you to remember the one man who beat you." And then the Batman Superman sign came up, and everyone lost their freaking minds, myself included. I think I watched that clip like 80 times the day it came out. But yeah, so it's awesome to see everybody come together. I saw like Ray Fisher went live and like was crying, because he was so happy for all the people. So it's just cool to see all these people come together, in support for Zach and this film. And they're gonna have a lot of watchers the day that this thing drops.
Well, I mean, he's probably so excited because he actually did so much work in that film that we never got to see. Ray Fisher, as he said, Cyborg. So I mean, there's just going to be so much. I remember seeing the trailers for it. I mean, there were so many clips in the trailers for that we don't see him playing football. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they made him so dark and emo.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was happy when he said "Booyah." I was like, okay, that's Cyborg.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That made me happy when he like flew. I remember up in like there was like a part of his face, like the part of his face that's human, like it covered up and was
in the trailer.
In the trailer, yeah,
exactly.
We saw him playing football, and like you see his mom, kind of like we saw him in Justice League War, the animated film. That's the kind of I felt like the vibe they were going for. So we're gonna see, I think, a lot more of him. I bet Flash still keeps his like kind of witty humor, maybe not to the level of Whedon, but
we'll probably see Iris West.
We'll see Iris,
because Iris was it Kiersey Clemens, I believe her name is. She, the actress. Yeah, she filmed a couple scenes, or at least a scene or two that we didn't get to see. So that'll be there. The
Black Suit Superman will be in there.
Yep, Black Suit Superman. More stuff with Barry and his father, I believe, will also be there.
Well, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff. I mean, to fill this 4 hours.
Yeah, and I cannot wait. I think more than anything to see back to BVS version of Batfleck, not Justice League. Like I don't want to say, oh yeah, something's definitely bleeding. No. Batman would never say that. Let's get
think about how much we're going to see. I mean, because they're going to remove. I mean, we're not just getting two extra hours of footage. We're getting probably maybe 3 hours of footage in this 4-hour film, because Joss really did. It's come out more and more about actually how much
almost complete reshoot.
Yeah, you know what I mean? At first, they were kind of keeping it down on the DL, but over the past 3 years, it's definitely way more than they ever said it was. So, I mean, we're going to get – it'd be interesting to see the comparison, to see exactly what, almost watch them back to back, and just to kind of see what's what. A lot of Justice League, but still just to be able to see what's there.
It's enough. It's enough. I mean, this month we've gotten Justice League Apocalypse War, and now we're getting a live version of Snyder Cut. It's gonna be so awesome. But
I've always said the writers for the movies, I wish they could use like the animated writers, because the animated movies are always amazing. Like Suicide Squad, they should have just used Assault on Arkham. That gives you a reason to introduce Joker, a reason to introduce Batman. It all makes sense. It's a great movie. Yep. Just use that.
It gives you a little Riddler in that as well, I believe. Lots of cool little people we could have introduced. Yeah, right. It does.
Yeah, well, that's why every DC animated film is 90% Rotten Tomatoes, 95% Rotten Tomatoes, 100% Rotten. There's a lot of 100%.
They're better than Marvel movies.
Oh yeah, a lot of people. That's where they smoke Marvel, is the animated stuff. Apocalypse War included. I mean, you could. It's hard to compare it, animated to a live action film, but Endgame, Apocalypse War. I mean, it's close, but I mean, I'm so excited. I know you guys are, and I know all of you guys are. So please let us know what your thoughts are. How excited were you that the Snyder Cut is coming to HBO Max? I'm sure we're going to be talking about this so much more over the next year or so until this thing drops. But thank you for hopping on, both of you. On a quick whim because of this breaking news. And we hope that, we're able to answer some questions and talk more about the Snyder Cut as things progress.
All right. It's been a pleasure. Nadia, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nadya. All right, guys. Until next time.